Hello, and welcome to my predictions video for NXT Stand and Deliver 2023. I'm going to run through the card in the order it is listed on Wikipedia. I'm not confirming this is any sort of actual match card order, but the main events seem to be roughly at the top. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up the Wikipedia listing and give my thoughts on what I think is going to happen in each match. We are starting with Schism versus Chase University and Tyler Bate. And the winners get control of Chase University. I'll be honest, I don't watch NXT. So I have no idea what's going on here. I know who everyone involved is. I feel sorry for Tyler Bate being down in these doldrums, to be honest. What's his stakes in this situation, I wonder. It's a mixed 8-person tag match because there's a lady on each team. I really don't know. I'm just going to go with Chase U winning the feel-good moment, and they get to keep control of their own thing. Why they've agreed to put this on the line in the first place, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just going to go with that. The next match is going to be for the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Men's Tag Team Championships. Are the Women's Tag Team Championships still a thing in NXT? I really don't know. I know the champions split up and one of them trashed the belts a while ago, but I don't know what happened after that. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. The Men's Tag Team Championships are being defended by Gallus against the Creed brothers and the family, which is Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Don't know who that is. So a triple threat tag match should be a lot of fun. I feel like this is between the first two teams, the Gallus and Creed brothers. But maybe I'm completely off base. Like I say, I don't watch week in, week out NXT. So I'm just guessing with some of this lower card stuff. I'm going to go with Gallus to retain, because why not? But also because certain titles get defended and certain titles get changed on shows, and you don't often get a show full of title changes, and I've got at least one that I'm definitely predicting to change. So when I'm not sure, I'll probably just go with a retention to play it safe. Up next, we have a fatal 5-way match for the NXT North American Championship. Wesley defending against Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, and Axiom, who is no relation at all to A-Kid. I know that's a thing. It's been going on for a while. I believe Wesley wanted to defend against in a 10-way match or against 10 people in an 11-way match. And I think it was Shawn Michaels was like, no, you can't do that, but you can defend against 5. And that just seems quite arbitrary considering, well, you can defend against 4 in a 5-way, I should say. Seems quite arbitrary considering, there's been 6-way matches for titles before, so, why could Wesley not have 6? And why couldn't he have 10 or 11 if he's such an idiot that he wants to defend in that, in that size of title match? I don't really know what to make of this. JD McDonough and Ilya have their own thing going on, don't they, Ilya Dragunov? So maybe they take each other out of the equation. Dragon Lee is brand new. This might even be his first match. I think it's his first match at a premium live event at what used to be called Takeovers. So maybe not him. I don't know. Maybe him. Maybe absolutely him. Maybe strap the rocket to him. I don't see it going to Axiom. But maybe he's a bigger deal than I perceive him to be, with, again, not really watching NXT. But I am going to go with Wesley to retain here. But I do think Dragon Lee might have a chance of winning. Someone with the surname Lee may well win this match. That's my prediction. But no, I'm going to go with Wesley to retain. Although I suppose there's also the chance that one of McDonough or Dragunov wins it and they continue their feud with the belt involved from that point on. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Wesley. Final answer. Oh, yeah, the next match is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I didn't see that. Okay, well, disregard what I said earlier. So, Fallon Henley and Kiana James, who are the champions, are defending against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who hasn't had to change her name for some reason, whereas Kaylee Ray did. It's Alba Fire. I don't even know who the champions are, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't recognize either of those names. Apparently, they're friends with Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, because they're going to be accompanying to the ringside, so I know who they are, but I actually don't know who the champions are. They may have had some renames, and I used to know who they were, or I just might be that out of touch with NXT. But based on that and that alone, I'm going to pick the witchy team. I can't remember what their team name is, if they even have one, but they're like Scottish witches, aren't they? Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, I'm going to say, are going to pick up the tag titles because I've heard of them, so I'm going to side with them. Let's go with that. That is logic at its very best, is it not? Up next, we have a ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, I've been keeping up on YouTube with the developments with this story, and it's a strange one. So, Roxanne Perez, like, collapsed or something on NXT and was rushed off to hospital, and there was talk of her having to forfeit the NXT Women's Championship. So they started setting up this multi-woman match for Stand and Deliver to crown a new champion. Then Roxanne Perez just came back. We're all assuming it was a kayfabe injury, but it's a weird one because she's come back from it before dropping the title. It's not quite sure I follow what's going on, but she has to now defend against Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton. Let me try this one. Lyra Valkyria, and Indy Hartwell. So I don't know who Lyra is. I genuinely don't know that name. I would like for this to be an excuse to take the title off one babyface and put it on another without them direct conflicting, and put this on Gigi Dolan. Big Gigi fan, gotta say. But I think this is going to be like, because hasn't it been linked to some sort of like anxiety issue? So I think Roxanne Perez is going to have like a moment where she's sort of overcome by her anxiety in this match, and this is a theory I've heard somewhere else and I really like it, so I'm basically stealing it. But I as soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah, no, that sounds perfect. But then she's gonna overcome it and win the match, and it's gonna be like a feel-good moment where, you know, she's overcome her inner demons. And for once in wrestling, that doesn't mean drugs and alcohol. Her actual inner demons, you know, a mental health issue and what have you. If that's what they're shooting for. I don't know, but I'm gonna pick Roxanne Perez to retain. There is a chance that there was like a shoot injury that she needed assessing for, so they shot the angle while they still had her, so they could write her off if need be. But then she got assessed and it was like, no, you'll be cleared for Stand and Deliver, so they've just ended up not taking the title off her and putting her in the match. You know, there's a chance it's that. I don't know if that affects now what the feel-good moment would truly be. There is also the chance that Gigi is going to win and then JC Jane. I don't know what her situation is. I think she's out at the moment, injured or something. But obviously, Toxic Attraction split up when JC turned her back on Gigi. So I don't know if she's available to come back and maybe attack Gigi after she wins the title, or on the next episode of NXT when she's celebrating winning it or something. But that's another possibility. But I would like to see more women's feuds in WWE in general, whether it's NXT or main roster, that don't involve titles, you know, that are just feuds. You know, a Brock Lesnar Omos, a Grayson Waller Johnny Gargano, for example. You know, there's countless examples through history of men's significant feuds that didn't involve the title, at least not for the entire duration. Sometimes not at all. But there's not that many examples of women's feuds that got major spotlight moments in pay-per-views or premium live events, with no titles involved. So I think if they're going to do Gigi and JC, when JC's good to come back, maybe don't have the title involved. You know, they can go on to title picture after that, can't they? One of them, or both of them. But yeah, I'm going to pick Roxanne Perez to retain. I've gone a bit off the beaten track here. Up next, Bron Breakker defending the NXT Championship against Carmelo Hayes. It's time, guys. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Carmelo Hayes is picking up the win in this one and taking the NXT title off Bron Breakker, who may very well be main roster call-up ready, to be honest, at this point. Like, may just disappear out of NXT. May just quantum leap to the main roster. So, yeah. Carmelo Hayes for the win. He did such an amazing job. I was kind of watching during his run as NXT North American champion, and he really elevated that title, so I'm really excited to see what he does with the NXT world title. There is a chance that Bron Breakker retains it and Carmelo Hayes is the one that gets called up, because in my opinion, both men are pretty much ready at this point, but one of them is going to be remaining in NXT as the champion, it would seem. So, but I just think the Breakker thing has maybe run its course, and it might be time to call him up and rename him Braun Steiner, damn it. They've acknowledged that he's Rick Steiner's son so much on NXT. The Steiners are in 2K23. I think they're in the Hall of Fame, like, last year or this year or something, right? I think it was last year. So, bridges built. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just let him be a Steiner now. He even dresses like they used to when they were the Steiner Brothers version 1.0 back in, you know, early WWF. Well, back in early Steiner's era, WWF, I should say. But yeah, that by the by, I think Carmelo Hayes is winning here, and that is the title change that I was referring to way back when I talked about the tag titles. And finally, speaking of Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano and their non-title feud, it's listed at the top on Wikipedia, and with good reason, in my opinion. It's an unsanctioned match, so it could very well go on last, a la Gargano Ciampa, because they might have something big planned, you know, tear up a bit of the ring, you know, cut open the ring apron, tear up the mats at ringside, you know, something that wouldn't be easily repaired to go into a main event. Also, they might be planning some monster finish where it wouldn't be fun to try and follow it. So, yeah, anyway, surely Grayson Waller wins this, right? Johnny Gargano is the past of NXT and should be used to put over the present/future of NXT, right? Now, whether Johnny Gargano's the past full stop is a different debate, because he's not been that inspiring on the main roster except for little bursts of, like, flashes of genius, if you like. The first one that comes to mind is just his performance at Elimination Chamber. Grayson Waller is another one that I think is pretty much main roster ready, but I think might stay in NXT and maybe challenge Carmelo Hayes and turn Hayes face, because everyone likes Carmelo Hayes anyway, don't they? And no one likes Grayson Waller. So he could kind of target Carmelo Hayes and turn him face. And that would be a really fun top-of-the-card feud for NXT for the coming months. But I think Grayson Waller has to win here, right? He can do something untoward to win. It doesn't have to be clean. It's an unsanctioned match. There's no rules. He can do whatever he wants. Kick him in the gonads if he wants, you know. But I do think Grayson Waller should win. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section of who you think should win each match, who you think will win each match. Just to quickly recap, I believe Chase University will beat Schism. Sorry, Chase University and Tyler Bate. Gallus will retain the tag titles. Wesley will retain his North American Championship. The Scottish Witches, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, will win the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Roxanne Perez will retain the Women's Championship. Bron Breakker will lose the NXT Championship. Started that sentence wrong, but I recovered it well. You didn't even notice. To Carmelo Hayes. And Grayson Waller will beat Johnny Gargano. They are my predictions. Let me know what you agree with and disagree with in the comments. Please do leave a like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Really helps the channel grow. Helps support me. And means you won't miss, if you subscribe, my review of this show that will be coming out after the show. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time.